A few other general things that might be helpful to know about elements. We're going to look at the periodic table again, but on the periodic table, when you're looking for elements, only a few of them are gases. So these, now as you might imagine, if you take a gas and you cool it down, what are you going to get? You are going to get a liquid. So these things are actually gases at current, basic temperatures you find on the surface of the earth. So these are gases, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So there are 11 gases. And I won't hold you accountable for that, but, And we're going to talk about, I think we've talked about this before, of course, H stands for hydrogen. And the fact that we have H2 means that actually that is an element that likes to have two hydrogens bonded together. Just the way it does. I think it's an electron thing, okay? And so nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, and chlorine are the same way. So those are gases. These are liquids. So my goodness, there aren't very many liquids. Okay, there are only 2 liquids. Again, if you want to take a liquid and if you cool it down, what are you going to get? You're going to get a solid. Okay, so you can go ahead and solidify these, but under normal atmospheric surface temperatures and pressures, they are liquids. So we have Hg stands for what element? That's mercury, and bromine Br stands for bromine, and again, bromine is a diatomic element. So those are 2 liquids, and then all the rest are solids. And we're going to be talking about how we kind of chunk up the elements. We can talk about elements as either being a metal, a non-metal, or a metalloid. That's just one way to chunk up elements on the periodic table. And we're going to talk about that coming up. But a lot of solids, 2 liquids, and what do we say, 11 gases? Okay. So there were several of those gases, actually 7 of them, that had a little subscript. They weren't all gases, excuse me. There were 7 elements that have subscript 2s next to them, showing that they are diatomic elements. So here on Earth, they like to have a fellow atom always bonded with them. And so the 7 diatomic elements are listed here. And so, of course, you see the little subscripts showing 2 of each of these. Now, I kind of learned this years ago with the kind of the German name Hofbernickel. Hofbernickel. Okay, so as I've done that, now I have the elements that are diatomic. So there's two hydrogen, H2, O2, F2, Br2, N2, I2, and Cl2. Now, why would you need to know the diatomic elements? Well, you need to know them, for instance, when we're writing how they react from their elemental form. This is how they exist as their elemental form. So here are the diatomic elements on the periodic table. We have a bunch of them. We're going to talk about kind of groups coming up here. Groups is kind of like a column of elements on the periodic table. But notice we have fluorine, chlorine, bromine, and iodine actually are all in the same group. We're going to call those halogens. Halogens coming up, like a halogen lamp. And then I guess just kind of looking around, but we said that iodine was a solid and bromine was one of the 2 liquids, wasn't it, under room temperature? So that's kind of finding our way around some elements. Now, I said that you don't need to memorize the periodic table, and that is true. I'm not going back on that. But you do need to be able to connect the name with the symbol for these elements. And I've listed these elements out by atomic number. We're going to talk more about that coming up here in a minute. But atomic number is that whole number, and that is, I told you, that's the number of protons in the center of an atom of that type of element. So this is kind of what that looks like. And sometimes I'll have students take their periodic table and mark it up. So, for instance, you're going to need to know 1 through 20. So 1 through, where's 20? 20. So you need to be able to match the name and the symbol for all of those. I'm looking at my list here. I see 24 through 30. I need you to do 24 through 30, okay? That, the line through it means you need to know it. The name and the symbol. Some of these you already know, 35, 36. Then I go to 46 through 48. Where is 46? 46 through 48, okay? Need to know those. 50, 51, 53 through 56. Okay, need to know those. 78 through 80, 78 through 80. Then I have 82, where's 82? Lead. 86, read on, and 92. Where's 92? Oh, 92 is important, okay? U stands for uranium. So they're all important, but be able to match up the name, the name and the symbol,